Hello, hello, it is time. It is morning. I have a pretty decent schedule for the week. It's gonna probably be mornings for the rest of the week. They gave me a schedule, so I'm going in at night, which makes the mornings a perfect time to continue our stuff. Alright. But we're starting a new pellet. It's almost 1 a.m. Let's go. Oh man. You are one mad lad. And good morning. Good morning to you guys. It really is morning for everybody. Huh. But don't forget, Awita's in the future. He will tell us what tomorrow brings, if the world will end, or so forth, and, you know, we'll know. Right, Awita, you'll tell us when the meteor is about to hit, when the volcanoes erupt, when the tsunamis wipe upon the face of the earth, when the earth shakes and crumbles. You'll tell us, right? Our night's crazier than day shift. In all honesty, yeah. In the mornings we have what they call drivers, and these drivers are people who pick up the groceries for people who order online and they deliver to their homes. It's basically Uber Eats, just groceries. And in the morning, all of those appear all at once, and that's just about the craziest part it gets. But at night, the evening really, a lot of people come out of work. A lot of people are returning to the other side. Other people are just out and about because the sun's going down. And it's more consistent, but it's not fun. People are moodier. Morning people tend to have a better, for some reason, have a better attitude. Mostly because they're morning people already. And once you're awake, you know, it's not so bad. But I think people get worn down as the day goes and it just becomes moodier. Yeah, I find myself rather preferring the morning. Yes, Awita is from the future. Okay. Another day, another dollar, so to speak. We are going to paint the pants. Oh wow, all at once is a lot. Okay, okay. Let's make our selection. Our brush. Our weapon of the day. Let's see. This one has great coverage. I like the number 1 and 2. Great choice of brush. Okay, we got, is this the number 1? This is number 2. Perfection. My go-tos. I skip almost 1 minute. Sorry, I didn't catch the context. Laugh out loud. Oh, I was saying how you're from the future and you're gonna let us know how bad it is, right? Like when the world ends, right? You're gonna tell us how bad are the earthquakes, how bad is everything that we can brace. Because you're from the future, you'll tell us because you're in the next day the world's gonna end. You're like They're like the Terminators that go back in time. I'm mobile right now. I'm probably a bit behind. Is the mobile really just that bad? Never realized. Oh no, you're not gonna tell us? You're just gonna let us find out? I see how it is. Such a nice friend. Hello, good morning. We're gonna be a whole lot more methodical. We're gonna be a little slower with these pans. We're at the stage where we want to avoid other parts of the body so that we're not having to clean too much of these people. These bald people. Well, built for comfort, not speed. Potato. Great potato conversation returns. To potato or not to potato? Banana. That is one pants down. I think the ones that have most access to the pants, or more like when both legs are showing, but it's under and you can tell the leg is there. Those are the trickiest ones because you have to do painting surgery on them. You have to be really precise. Reminds me of that doctor game where you pull out the bones and all the junk with the little tweezers, and it goes brr. No, every time you touch the edge. But I'll grab my laptop right now. I just comfy enjoying some very rare silence in this house. Very rare silence. It's usually really noisy there. You're home alone. It's cool. Doctor, just a little crack. So like this guy's further back leg, I can barely even see. And it's just not worth the effort considering no one's really gonna look at the model from beneath. you'd have to really go out of your way to look at a model under there. And at that point, I'd be like, come on, man. Like, it's supposed to be a game piece. You're not supposed to look down there. Leave it alone. Don't do this to me. Me either. Alone right now is so quiet. Oh, wow. Well, to be fair, it is really late for you. Oh, wait, though. You're supposed to be in bed. Because you need sleep. But here you are. Being a great supporter. At the cost of your health. How dare you? How dare you be so nice? But I'll call you out. You're here when you're not supposed to. You need sleepy. You need EP time. Hey, you're right. Are you okay with that? Yeah, go to bed. If you're tired, you go to bed. I am okay being here. I am working on my stuff. I'm streaming it. Just because I won't do much better else either way. So, get some rest. I'll see you later, dude. Don't you worry, there's always another time. Oh, don't want to use a lead belcher, but I must. This paint doesn't spread as good as I once thought. Alright, just 30 minutes. Okay. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. I'm hoping it's easier to access these guys. They don't have a lot going on under there. If it's not very immediate, like if it's a color you don't see immediately, I'm not even gonna bother. Just what I need to reach. Hello, the traitor appears. We were all waiting for you. How dare you fall asleep? You should have rested beforehand. We were already waiting. Even Awita was there, like, waiting. We called you multiple times. And you have failed us. It's true, I was the phone. The phone was on vibration, I couldn't hear it. Uh-huh. Yeah, I imagined. Yep. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Reaching down from there. I woke up like 11 something. By then, everyone was gone. Laugh out loud. We actually didn't. We were gone by like what? Or like 10:30ish. We were just in chat waiting, listening to the Baldur's Gate main theme in the main menu, waiting for you, hoping you would wake up and we could play at least 30 minutes. But Abram had work in the morning, so he's like, yeah, I can't wait any longer, and then he left. On PC now, it shouldn't be so laggy, laugh out loud. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Oh. You guys are gonna hate me, but I want a Sisters army too. I want a Sisters, and then the combat patrol that came out for the Eldar is really good. The value in it to actually start Eldar seems so good. Hell yeah, brother. Good morning, Oscar. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing, bro? The man, the myth, the legend, the green, the embodiment of Wa, the Werg. We weren't going to play for that long, right? Because if I remember right, we left Barrow at like 9:40. Yeah, we kind of got off pretty late. 9:40ish was the time we hopped back on. I know, because my sister and me were like, oh shit, it's 9:30, let's get back, because we only have about an hour and 30. We hop on, you're gone. We're like, oh, okay, I guess. And I told him, I was like, I bet you that mother trucker didn't sleep at all, because he never sleeps, and he fell asleep now. And we called it. We were right. How goes thy hobby, Oscar? Orcscar? Orcscar? How goes the hobby, Oscar? What have you been doing? I know you've probably been busy. But what have you done? What follows thine journey? What doeth? A lot of green. So you still have been painting? Okay, that's really nice. I've been doing lots of blue for my Krieg. Blue, blue, blue. Blue, black, and brown, considering all the mud. I like my mud. Alright, where can I add some gray on this guy? What should be grayified? Grayified? Gratified. Let's make his I don't know. Would it be weird if we made his sleeves different color? I'm not so certain where I would add gray to him. Since he is a great wizard, I just might even do something unique for him. We will leave him be. I'm commissioning painting some Black Templars. Ooh. That's nice. Someone who already has lots of skills in painting their own stuff and just doesn't want to do it, or they don't know what to do, or don't have time. You know, there's a lot of reasons, but I'm just curious. Did you get to ask? Or did someone just like, oh, look, like, I want to do stuff, and how did it happen? You know, some conversations. All right, so that's the end of that round. I'm gonna start working on all the metal. Let's get the most tedious part out of the way. All that lovely metallics. They don't have time and don't know what to do. So they're new and they don't have the time for it. Okay, yeah, makes about sense. Did they look at your stuff and said, oh, hell yeah, I want to do it? Or did you offer? Because, for example, these Psykers, they came to me. A lot of these commissions actually came to me. I think the only one that I insinuated was Andrew. I was like, you know, I could paint your Call of France. And he was like, oh, that's a great idea. And I painted his Call of France. Oh, what sucks is I like the light from outside, but it feels like the sunlight itself is drawing up the palette a little more so than usual. Oh god, I feel all the paint that's still inside there. I'm gonna get rid of this lead belcher. I really don't like working with it anymore. I don't want to play with you anymore. They saw my arcs and Grey Knights and asked if I could. Ooh. Someone you play with consistently, or was it an honest to god just random person? A friend from school. Nice. Nice. Were you guys already both in the hobby, or did you introduce him? You see, that is a lot of... They are shining. That is a lot of water. Separated a little too much. Right, because we're going to use lots of this. Alright, let's get the bulk of this, which, believe it or not, is the staves. We're going to get the staves. Get that. That's way too liquidy. Let's not have that on the thumb just yet. Way too much. Okay. Oh yeah, that was way too much. I introduced him to it and he went on spending spree. Oh goodness. Who doesn't do that in the hobby when they enter? The excitement is overwhelming. How constantly are you guys getting together for it? For hobby time? Hobby doesn't necessarily mean painting, quite literally, but you know, playing, talking about it, all the shebang. I saw my Krieg and I went on a buying spree. Bought 2 boxes. Would have went for a third, but I was like, wait a minute, that's a lot of dineros. I should probably chill. I just saw horses and I said, give me. I play a game once a week, painting maybe 2 or 3 times a week. With him? Hey, Shani. Damn, boy. That's pretty good. All right. How much metallics does this dude have? First off, he has lots. With it, maybe every other week. Yeah, that's pretty good. Considering how much metallics I'm gonna add, maybe I should do those cauldrons in gold. But the skull will be as well. Let's keep the shiny metal. But he also has like chest armor. At least that's what it looks like to me. I'm still getting my competitive games in. Oh, let's go, dude. Let's go, let's go. Are you free right now? Seems to be. You painting? Getting ready for school? I'm at school doing a lab. Very relaxed day. Oh, nice. Real chill. These chest plates are probably going to be the most tedious. It's going to look epic. So many details there. Yeah, there is, and I have to avoid it all. I'm not overlapping and having to cover a lot of gray. Psykers are really just like soldiers with their arcane abilities, but because they know that psychic powers are so powerful, they tend to give them really good war gear, like the armor plating and stuff. Not to mention, a lot of these Psykers have like force fields and stuff that they can conjure, so it makes sense that these guys are all decked out. And if you're a super mega psyker, you're a gray knight, and you're in a real epic armor. The face is the part that's probably the scariest. Many stuff for psych. Yep. They are very important inside the universe. In fact, probably half the problems are fixed and also caused by Psykers. Usually caused. They turn traitor because they're mistreated, and rightfully so. They go loony because demons like to touch their brains. Some of them are so powerful they can't even be detained or found. You know, there's so many stories about Psykers. They're really popular. I too like myself a good Psyker. And I'm not one for a lot of wizardry stuff. But if I were to pick a type of Psyker, it's Eldar, dude. Hell yeah. Superior Master Race. Those Monkey, they don't know what they're doing with their magic powers. They're putting it to waste. Forget the orcs, dude. They don't even know what they're doing. Forget them. So psychic people are strong allies than another? Interesting. Allies of another? Well, first off, Psykers, many times, like almost, I'd say 80% of the time, they are not willing to do the thing that they are. Yeah, and I mean humans. I should be more specific. Because Eldar definitely, if they are imbued with natural gifts since birth, they'll follow the path of the seer, which is like guidance people. They guide their civilization and stuff. But like humans, on the other hand, they don't really have much of a choice. They're like, your finger sparkle here. You're in the military now. Either you're in the military if you're good enough, or you're sacrificed to the emperor so he can stay alive. You're just a snack. You're just an emperor snack. And you best believe you're what's that called? Abused in the military if you join the Astra Militarum, or like if they decide to keep you alive. And it's crazy because like they keep you alive so that you can go and fight. That's really what they're kept alive for, right? So they keep you alive so you can go fight. But when you think about like how some of these Psykers on the field perform, and sometimes their own power and control is sometimes over abused, and they'll go crazy. They'll have perils of the warp and stuff like that, which is really like the psychic power consuming them, and they'll just die. They're a danger to themselves and others around them when stuff like that happens. It's like an unstable reactor. It has a lot of power, but if used excessively and without the proper, cooling off mechanisms, because these psychers usually know how to cool off their psychic stuff. If they're pushed too hard, they just kind of like explode and they kill everyone around them. And psychers are not leaders or of any sort. They're usually like, they're servants. They're slaves. They're slaves for the Imperium. Oh yeah, it's cruel. That's 40k for you. Welcome to 40k. Explode. Yep. And what's kind of scary is you can be a normal human your whole life, and then you have what is called a psychic awakening. Something can traumatize you, or you just develop it like growing puberty, right? And you can suddenly have these powers when you're older. It's really rare. We're talking 1 in a million people get psychic abilities. That's why there's so many few psychers. But because the Imperium of Man is, the Empire is so big, they find these throughout all of the planets that they own, which is why there's a decent handful of them. Seems like there's a lot, but there's really not. Yeah, these psychers do not have a choice whatsoever. All right, all this for one dude. We're not done yet. By the way, I think 30 minutes is too short. Already 41 minutes. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Time really flies when you're chatting and you're painting. You know, I'm still forgetting to buy the Chinese wrap paper so that I can diffuse the light a little bit. I can still see there's really harsh light on some of the areas. Yeah, you're still here? I mean, yeah, you're more than welcome to stay if you're okay with it. I'm just making sure that you should probably get proper rest so you're not always so tired. Like Raoul, so you're not falling asleep like the dodo brain. Wrap paper. Yeah, I was mentioning last time how I want to buy some more of the Chinese paper that can diffuse the light. All right, that is. Oh no, you see, that's why I always take a second look. We're missing the shin guards for the legs in the very front. Right, this thing is soaking up way too much paint. We're gonna have to switch it out. Way too big. Okay. This should suffice. We got the shoe guard, a little plating on the shoe. I see. The back of the leg did not get the red. That is a big no-no. Right. I think that's everything metallic for now. I see buckles and stuff, but those are touch-ups later. Because if I do the metal buckles and stuff and then I paint the brown over it, I've wasted the time. Right. This guy here, his socks on the back of his thing did not get covered, so we're gonna cover that real quick. I had a day off today, tomorrow too, and I have enough for rest, I guess. That's okay, but I position on my bed, very comfy. If you fall asleep, let it be. Do not worry about it. Metal armor, cool. And then once I put the Nuln oil on the armor, it's gonna pop even more. Alright, we got even more of the same dude. There's 3 of these dudes that have quite a bit more metallics than the others. So let's work on that. Okay, okay. Okie dokes. Have you been expanding your list, Oscar, for the Grey Knights whatsoever, or have they stayed the way they've been since you've left? Do the psychic people have weaknesses when in battle? Oh, most definitely. Certain demons can drive them to madness if they are fighting against demons. Eldar as well can tamper with them. Usually it's other psychic beings, like other people who have psychic powers are pretty good at dealing with other psychics, depending on how advanced they are, how veteran they are, you know, like how in tune are they with the arcane. If a higher arcane person, you know, fights against another, the person who's much stronger in it, it's going to win all the time. In a way, because they're psychic, it is their weakness as well. Demons, of course, psychic abilities, they have stayed the same. I've been waiting to see if they get a refresh. That is quite wise. I'd be in the same shoes. But the nature of the psychic abilities come from the warp, and the warp, believe it or not, is another dimension. Where the power comes from. So naturally, they're intertwined. The demons do have some power over it. All right, so it looks like the palette overdid its job. Is all that paint that I spread too thin watered it out. I don't want this leaking out anywhere. Frankly, I don't care if it goes to waste a bit. Just don't want it to make a mess on my sponge if it spills out, because it's too watery, right? If I tap it or I lift it, it's gonna make a mess when the water moves. Oh, get a little more. Again, I'm trying to get rid of it either way. Another dimension? Yay, next step. But yeah, there is another dimension. It's called the warp. It's where all the psychic stuff comes from. There's also certain beings that are born without a soul. I know that sounds weird, but that's just really what it is. Some people are born without a soul, and they are called blanks. And these people are like a black hole to psychic stuff. And these blanks, when they're near Psykers, drain them so much so that it kills them. That is honestly the most weakness that a Psyker has. Like, that is the number one thing. Demons around blanks cannot even manifest very well near these people. That's how dangerous these people are to psychic stuff. It makes them go mad. Yeah, that's what a blank is. A blank is just a person without a soul, and they are just like a black hole for magic. They suck up all the magic, and it kills people who wield magic. That's really all you gotta understand. You know what a black hole is, right, Awita? Yeah, those are blanks, and that is the number one weakness to Psykers, usually blanks. The Imperium of Man, if they ever have a rogue psyker, a psyker that betrays the Imperium or runs away, escapes, the Imperium will send an assassin called a Blank to go deal with the psyker, go kill him. And usually manifesting, like using your psychic powers, is usually kind of painful sometimes. That's why this guy right here is holding his head. He's like, oh, that hurts, you know, like it's hurting him. It's really cruel. You weren't wrong. That's why I'm saying that's what Warhammer is. It is grim, dark future. It's supposed to be dark. Yep. It's a very divisive tool, really. That's what they are, but like it's a really divisive tool, whether they're even worth using, because they do more damage to you, like your forces, if they go crazy. Like you have to ask yourself if it's even worth the risk running them. But considering how much they run things in the Imperium, like navigators are psychic people as well, and they basically control where the ship goes, like spaceships. And if we don't have psychic navigators, the humanity doesn't get to space travel because we won't be guided. These navigators basically have a third eye and they can see where they're going. So like stuff like that is really good, but battle psychers are questionable considering the repercussions when they go crazy are pretty massive. Like a singer psyker exploding can kill a platoon about 50 to 100 people in just one explosion. And that's a lot of people. Yeah, they attack the enemy while they attack themselves in a way. Dude, is there something beautiful about being psychic? I'll be honest, no, not really. It's more like a curse. Like it's a blessing in the sense of like what you can do with it. If they were left alone, psychic people live a very unique life, a very painful one. I said unique, right? Because it's not really peaceful. They don't live a peaceful life. Remember, having psychic powers means you're in tune with the warp where all the demons live. You're constantly hearing voices. You're seeing visions of shadows and demons and stuff. Being psychic is not a nice thing. Many of these people sometimes, like battle psychers, will sometimes just get tired of all of it, and they'll kind of just go in the front line as an excuse to unalive themselves, you know? They're like, well, screw it, this is a painful existence, I'll just go out with a bang. And some of them don't. Some of them just turn traitor. Like, straight up, they'll just be like, I'm gonna turn into a rogue psyker. Like, I'm done with this crud. I'm gonna fight my own men. So no, there's not really much good other than you're good at killing or doing something arbitrarily useful for the Imperium. Yeah, that's really what they are. They're just magic wielding slaves. A lot of Krieg, since I like to really incorporate like what I know and how my regiment functions. A lot of Krieg don't usually have Psykers. So there's certain regiments that are willing to have Psykers. Krieg will tolerate them if the Inquisition deems it a very necessary thing to have, but you won't see them being run with Kriegsmen. Kriegsmen don't use Psykers really. They see them as too dangerous and unreliable. And again, if the Inquisition says we need this for this mission, the Krieg will say, okay, well, we'll tolerate it being amongst us, but we don't like it. They won't say anything about it because Krieg are utterly loyal. But a few here and there are obviously born on Krieg as well. They're not exempt from Kriegsmen becoming psychic either. But it's, I think, even rarer, especially because they're cloned. You can become psychic now. No, I don't want psychers in my Krieg. I'll run a few just for like the thematic fun of it, but I'm not gonna add too many either, just because it's not in their norm. I like my Krieg to stay very Krieg-like. Send the infantry, send the horses, send the tanks. The psychers, pretty rare. I'm not sure I understand, but being Krieg more save them psychic? In a way, only because they're cloned. Kriegsmen are cloned. Not all of them, there's still some natural, but they do have the cloning method for the sake of them paying their tithes. The tithe is what they owe, it's like a taxes. And Krieg, because their planet is destroyed because they bombed it with nuclear bombs, they don't have much other resources to offer other than their veteran soldiers, Kriegsmen. The Krieg soldiers are the resource. That's why they are popular. There's so many Krieg. And they're really good at what they do, which is fighting. And since they're not very afraid of pretty much anything, it makes them the perfect human soldier. There's downfalls. It's not all perfect for Krieg, because one of the problems is Kriegsmen are a little too willing to throw their lives away for the sake of a small victory, because they do have a cult of death, and the idea is if my life is spent well, then it can atone even greater for the greater sins that their ancestors did. You feel it? Your psychic awakening. Oh no. And usually a psychic awakening is a really rude awakening. Like, imagine you're just eating with your family, and then all of a sudden your hands shoot fire and then everyone's dead. That's usually how it goes with their psychic awakening. Something really bad happens accidentally, and then your family's gone. Which is why a lot of Psykers tend to be orphaned, or like, you know, without family and stuff, or people they love, because they get them killed. And if you're lucky, you can have some other Psyker find out like, hey, you're gonna have psychic powers, or like it's really low and we can help you awaken it. But it's usually not a good idea, because you're gonna be mistreated. You know what I mean? What, no way? Are they just turned with no best timing for them? Yeah, like there's no timing, it just happens. You don't get to choose when your psychic abilities awaken. They just happen. Like I said, in the middle of, like, just eating, it can happen there and then. And then your family's gone. Goodbye. You killed them. And then because you make a giant mess, people find out, people snitch on you, and they're like, oh my god, he's a psychic. And then they send the Inquisition, which is the police, really. They send the Inquisition, which is the police, and they find you, and then they capture you, and then they say, this one has potential. He's going to be a battle psyker. And then all that bad stuff I told you goes through until they die. Or they're like, you don't have a lot of potential. You're going to be a snack for the Emperor. Your life is more valuable that way, because you keep our dear God Emperor alive. Yeah, eating in their pup. Yep, You're taking a shower and then explosion, dead. Everyone's dead. And it's not all of them. Some of them have like different experiences. That doesn't mean they all explode. I'm just giving you one example, just to be clear. Sometimes you can hear voices. Sometimes your head really just hurts. You know, stuff like that. There's a lot of ways it can happen. But yeah, I'm only telling you like one of them. Give me a snack for Emperor. But in the game, Psykers are really nice. They do a lot of damage. You're like, I'm sorry, Psyker. You're going through a lot of pain. But that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. And my Kriegsmen are like, nah, we don't need those. We'll just do it ourselves. We'll die by the thousands, but we can do it. Also, the skills are so cool. Yeah, like all the abilities and stuff. They have a lot of things. And like sometimes, and many times, these psychers are given artifacts that enhance psychic channeling, and many of them are in the form of like a staff or a mask to control their breathing and concentration. So many times, psychic people have a staff that lets them channel the power that they're going to use, direct it and control it easier. That's why they have the staves and stuff. It helps them use it better, more effectively, and safely. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be sitting next to one in my lunch hour. I'd be like, you stay over there. I'll sit right here. You can be alone. Which is actually what happens to a lot of psychers. Like, they're really lonely. No one wants to be around them. You don't want to blow up, right? You don't want to turn into a puddle of liquid just because they sneeze. Yeah, I don't want to be liquid. But just to repeat myself, yeah, living the life of a psyker is not a really good one. You don't want to be a psyker, trust. Not tired yet, Aoito? Oh no, it pulled me back. The lag, I'm assuming. You're getting eepy but not tired. That reminds me, I need some water. There we go, perfect. Oh, the talking made me thirsty. How are you today? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Lazy to go to work, but I must. It's a necessity. If I could do this as my job, I would have loved that, but one day I hope. We're not just there. Not quite there. The nice part is these other guys don't have much metal all over them. These guys in particular do. So it should ramp up. Yeah, I'm working today. Way part? What part am I missing? So far the staff. The staff, the elbow parts. I'm almost done with him. Once you pluck out like the parts of a model and stuff like that, like it becomes easier to find. However, you have to redo it all once. You have to cover it again. These guys have metal plating on top of their head. You see, I didn't notice that before. Now I have to go through all of those again. What else? The other top half of the spear. The spear, the staff, I mean. Where am I? Where's my head? Oh no, I'm not completely the word what I'm said, and now I forgot, sorry. Ooh, it's cool. I mean, it's cool. Like, don't worry about it. That's what I mean. Like, if something happens to you and you're like, "Oh, that's cool," like, it's just like saying, "No, don't sweat it. Don't worry too much." English. Oh, thank you. Oh yes, about your character. Oh, I wanted to say your mouth like Eevee. Yeah, you could say so. Kind of what I was going for, I guess. Not precisely, but that I think about it, yeah. Alright, psychic people. Let's get funky. Alright, let's see what these guys require. What silver shenanigans do you have, sir? They make your brain go burr. Oh yeah, they definitely do. They make everyone's brain go burr. Looks like the pack on this dude lies on his back over the coat. Real simple. Almost 2:30 a.m. So, what you're saying is you're getting sleepy now. Gonna go to bed? Oh, will you laugh at the face of sleep and keep plowing as you've done so far? We will never know. Yeah, laugh at sleep. our friend Raul laughs at sleep. But he is he sometimes loses, like yesterday. And he loses at very inconvenient times. Wish I have Theramon door and go there. I don't have to eat. I don't know what that is. Theramon door. Theramon? No. I don't know what that is. What is that? Enlighten me. So, I mean, the door have an ability. We can teleport with that, provided we have been there before. That's cool. It reminds me of, like, in Dungeons and Dragons, right? How they teleport. But maybe that's what it's called and I haven't recognized it. Is it a D&D thing? That's probably it. I probably just know what it is. I just don't know it by title. Out of context, by the way, pardon me. Yeah, like D&D, I guess. No, it's not out of context. I'm chatting with whatever there is to chat. All right. Then the staff. So really, it's just the back, the bonds on their wrist, it seems. Dareman is a cartoon anime. Oh, I see. Nothing to do with Dungeons and Dragons. I have this urge to paint my Skaven, but if I do so, I leave my new Kriegsmen at the mercy of Grey. The Greyening. It has claimed too many of my little plastic souls. It's a bone? I thought it's toes. Wait, what? What you talking about, brother? Maybe there's a delay here I'm confused about. Okay. That is this Psyker. Not as much metallics as the other. But still, take some time. You gotta finesse and pluck out the metallics. Let's get a more difficult one. Yeah, the air hoses. The air hoses. I can hear the cats bothering my dad. He's like, get over there. Don't be on the counter. Or cats try to steal food. Mochi! Yep, that's the name of one of my cats. Little gray one, very mischievous. He's a little chunky boy. He loves food a little too much. Did you feed them before and your dogs? I feed the dogs usually around 3 o'clock-ish. If it's not me, my brother's at home and he feeds them. My sister, right before she goes to work every single day, she feeds them. And then when she comes back, later at night. But yeah, they ate already. They're just little fatties. They eat too much. I see. Yeah. Oh boy. All this facial mechanic stuff sucks. Gotta avoid the skin like the plague. When I learned the weakness of the flesh, it disgusted me. Even in death, I serve. The audio, the soundtrack for that game is so cool. The Mechanicus game. Yeah, like cyborg augmentics. His brain hurt a little too hard, and it melted half his head. They're really more than hurt, even the hoses in their head. Yeah, the hoses are connected to their head. I'm telling you, you don't want to be a psyker. No, I know you like your magic stuff, Awita. You like wizards and all that stuff. But these guys, you don't want to be a psyker. Trust. Yeah, I love magic, but sad for this. Yep. It's too sad. Don't do it, Awita. Don't join the Psykers. You'll have a very bad time. If I'm being psychic, it feels like I have to say, do you have any ibuprofen? I got a headache every single time. Yeah, like the meme. Yeah, it's basically them every single time. They're like, oh, do you have any ibuprofen? Can I please have some? My head feels like it's literally about to explode, because it literally is. Yep. And then like this dude with half his face being cybernetic, who knows? He's just like a bomb, a shrapnel grenade. Really what he is. He's like, how can I make everyone else's day even worse? I'm about to explode. Just like farts really intensely. There we go. That Militarium burrito was just a little too spicy. Too much left out loud. Oh boy. hate doing the metallic, man. Oh man, oh man. Let's get another drink of water. Perfect. Perfection. All right. Let us continue. Okay. He has head. He has brain metal. He wants to keep his smarts in his head. Really wise. Really wise. You don't want your brain leaking out. You want it inside, not out. If you don't conjure that spell quickly, that commissar is gonna keep your brains out. No more Psyker. Gone. Dead. Looks like it's coming along nicely. Yeah. It is lots of fun painting these guys. Can't wait to add some of the weathering. I think that's what's gonna break apart the white, because it looks unpainted, at least from the stream. But in person, it looks pretty good. It's a dirty white cloak. They're in battle, not clean. And then what's gonna help is painting the base, because I think the base is what's throwing me off as well. It's just like, it looks unpainted, but that's because it is. And it has the same colors as the cloak. Oh, again, just like the guardsman, the moment you add a little bit of like a detail to make accents and like differentiate it, it's gonna look amazing. Models always look better in real life. Oh yes, sir. Indeed. I'm assuming you're on break right now. You got a little jumping around, having class breaks. Today's Friday, right? Yeah, I was gonna say you should be in school, I think. Teaching the goobers. Oh man, what is that? No, don't do this to me. It's weird. Like the hose was intact, but there's a breaking point there. Okay, I see how it is. Emergency fix. Alright. I'm just concerned, how long these guys are gonna last. I'm hoping long, because I hate to see projects go to waste. Come on. There you go. Perfect. Let that dry. I just had my prep period. Tuned in for a little bit. Nice. Thanks. Thanks for the support. Get to see what's cracking. All right, more lead belcher. I feel like I dropped him like right after I printed him, thought I got it all glued back together. Oh, you dropped him? I mean, he's still intact. Holy smokes, he's pretty good. I'm gonna be honest. I have been extra cautious with these prints. When you told me that they were a little brittle, I got a little scared. I was like, oh gosh, don't wanna mess with these boys. They need to be home safely. Their dad told me he wanted them back. Uh-oh, my mom's yelling at the cats in here. Oh, good, dude. Heck yeah. Alrighty. Okay. This dude has a special skull thing on his shoulder. Don't know what that means, but he does. Not sure if that's supposed to be a shoulder skull or if it's a metal ornate thing. We will soon find out. I think that's supposed to be a regular skull. But break apart with some gold would look real nice. Okay. Hopefully, between that glowing time at the very base of where the thing was painted was enough time for it to dry. Oh, stuff is in order. After Mimi's right now, Joyous. Looks cool progress and shiny and shading. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Awita, and have a good night. Thanks for stopping by and helping out like always. Always so tuned. Till next time. Good night, good night, good night. So much of the bright colors, including the silver, which goes in line with a lot of the white already as is, reflects a lot of the lighting back into the camera. The camera's dying. No, I don't want to, but good night. Have good work for you. Talk to you later. Heck yeah. I know there's like a good amount of people who are just like, if I don't have to sleep and I can have eternal energy, honestly would. Sometimes I feel that way. I'm just like, I have so much I want to do. I'd like to put it on overdrive and not have to sleep. I'm gonna start from the bottom, give that glue a little more time to dry. Probably not even dry yet. I Hey, he was there to say goodnight. And these metallics just cause destruction upon these brushes. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what this dude's wearing, but it looks like metal armor to me. Fairly sure. You know, that's like a leather belt. Goes up to the belly. You know, this here, metal. And then this guy's the G, so he's gonna have his beautiful bling bling shoulder pads. Just because I think that'll look cool. Not tell him apart from his already apart brethren. Gotta paint up his totally sick gems. They look like gems. All right. Front, back. I remember seeing he had a net guard at the back of his head. Get to that in a bit. Gotta watch out for his skin. Not a silver metallic man. He's not the robo arigato robot. Robo arigato, Mr. Robot. I was listening to some of the Adeptus Ridiculous of Votan, and they're talking about the kin, like the robot kin. And I don't know. They sounded so cool. I wanted some. I want some. Man, I'm crazy like that. I just too much. It's one of those things too where it's just like I'm also really happy when I see other people have their collection. And I'm satiated with seeing it. But a lot of the people here play the same, or they don't even show up. So it's just like, I don't get to see that cool army anymore. They're gone. And the ones who do frequent are Space Marine players. And they're cool guys. I love them. Okay, that's all they play. But we see lots of those everywhere. So it's part of the reason why, like, as much as I do like the Krieg, a lot of people already play Militarum and humans. So the Tyranids and all that other jazz is like my excuse to like expand outside of the human sphere. And Tyranids are definitely out there. Good stretch. And it sounds like the guys are meeting up today at the shop. Really cool. Guys got some chain bling bling. Pretty cool stuff. Got these turtle backpacks. They're turtly enough for the turtle club. Turtle, turtle. Turtle. Am I not turtly enough for the turtle club? The power of 3D printing, amazing. I think that this is, you know, not like a plastic in the traditional sense. And so much of this detail is really nice. I just wish that it was just incapable of breaking, because I think that's what scares the heavy jibbies out of me. And I've gone out of my way to get the best resin I can that won't ever shatter if I ever drop it, because these little falls from even just here to the table, which is just a few inches high, can just obliterate the model, depending on like the brutalness of it. And that just deters me from wanting to paint these for myself. And I printed a freaking ton of them just recently with my new printer. That's like, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm still afraid of putting way too much effort into these models because of that said reason. So for like my Krieg's weapons teams and certain characters, I'm not gonna add an insane amount of detail. And who knows, maybe I'm not as clumsy as I think I am, considering I do have the Ogren. And those are all 3D painted, and they've held up really well. And I've dropped a few. And that was without the ABS resin, which scares me to no end. Because that resin was not the toughest. And I don't need it to be like, oh, you know, like I want it to be shot by a bullet and then survive. Like, there's obviously a limit of how resistant these things can ever be. Like, I'd like for it to fall from waist height when I'm standing and survive. Because I think that's one of the upsides of having. I still got go ham on mine and just fix them when I can when they break. I just imagine you're just yeeting them at the wall. You're like, fuck these models, and then you still just pick up the freaking glass fragments of the model. It's just like a mound of like rubble, and you're like, yeah, he's just basing material now. I know you're not a rager, but like, I just play these things out of my head. It's just funny to me. Yeah, these things are practically glass, dude. Not your models, but like when you think about resin printing, they're pretty much just glass. Because the way they've shattered, at least for me, has been just into bajillion pieces. With the Sunlu ABS like resin, which costs a little more, you have more give, and some of the models have fallen and they've survived. It's pretty nice. If I do recommend a resin, it's Sunlu ABS. ABS like. It is a little pricier, but you do get a little more insurance in terms of, you know, like they're not gonna break as often when you drop them. Little bits like spear stuff will and such, but that I wouldn't mind gluing back. It's almost inevitable. Like, these stabs are expected to break. I expect them to break, I'll be honest, even on my own models, if they were mine. But yeah, glass is accurate. Indeed, that really is what it feels like. I'll try it out when I print my Tomb Kings. Ooh, you're actually gonna go Tomb King? Wait a minute. You have the ghosts. I know you did the dwarves. You're gonna do another one? Are you selling these, or do you really just keep these for yourselves? Wow. No way. struggling with just 2 armies. And I also want more. I want some Norskins, dude. I'm craving a little chaos. The Skaven are considered a destruction. They're not really like chaotic per se. You don't have like the classic chaos spiky quirks and such, but I want something with that mannerism. I have ghosts and dwarves in that. I just hoard shit. Oh shoot, dude. I mean, I would too if I had more space. Which is why I'm working towards saving some money for my own little place I can build as an extension to my parents' property. We're working on building an additional room. That's what it's really called, a room. And hopefully there and then I can hoard even more. That's all I do. Right. Yeah, and then Tomb Kings are a great test for the resin, I'll be honest. I'm just too coward to just drop him purposefully. I did do it, I think, before with some Star Wars Legion resin, and then it survived like one fall directly on my wooden boards from waist height as well. And that was, I think, Serietic navy gray. It wasn't ABS like, so it was just like the center resin. And supposedly it had some tension, and it did. Like I said, it fell once, and it was actually relatively fine. It would maybe have breaking points on like a gun or a spear and stuff like that. I mean, the swords that the BX commando droids have, since they're really thin. That was a really great test. But again, it only lasted 2 drops. All right, shading time. Okay. Gonna shade these bad boys. Get that metal shaded. Get that grim dark. Dun, dun, dun. I gotta finish my Star Wars army, dude. I just keep thinking about all these projects I have. And right now, I'm just solely committed to finishing Krieg so I can have one army finished. At least to the point where, like, all I really have is just like a few units here and there to paint. I have 2 additional chimeras, and chimeras aren't traditionally a Krieg unit. I mean, at least regiment wise, lore. And I've been happy with just using 2 so far in OPR. I don't know if I want to paint those 2 other chimeras. The Psykers, I will finally have 1 full painted army, then I am going to start my sisters. You've painted everything else already? The horses as well? Oh, smokes. Well, you're working on those. I'm working on the trench engineers. Ooh. Your engineers came out really nice, by the way. Since we did the whole buy together for the STLs, I haven't been able to print them myself, and when I saw you do it, oh man, dude, I was in love with them. It looks so good. And you did like the hazard stripes, right, on their pauldron, which only made them look more engineer-like. Awesome stuff, dude. And they also kick ass in the game. Thanks. Yeah, hazard stripes on different parts of the armor level out. No. I will never finish all my guard models I have. And that's something else. You bring up another point. Really, as much as I want to be like a completionist and say I finished the army, there's always something you're going to be adding all the time. But like I do realize that too, and I sometimes remind myself like, hey, chill, like it's okay to jump around and work on different projects so you're not burning out. But I do want to have a majority army that's painted when I'm running it, if that makes sense. I want it to be to the point where it's okay to have 1 unit out of your whole army not painted, and just be like, well, yeah, I'm gonna get to it eventually, right? Hundreds of guard models. I will have 1 fully painted to play with. Yeah, I'm trying to get that with my Krieg. That's kind of what I want to be at. I want to be like, hey, this is the army I really love the most, generally speaking. I want to have most of it painted, which is why I went out of my way to paint the 40 Kriegsmen, the Commissar, all the Ogren that I like to play with. And right now it's going to be all the weapons teams. It's going to be all the horses, Marshal Dreer, and the engineers. And the final piece is going to be the Baneblade. I want a Baneblade. I really, really want a Baneblade. They just look menacing. Assert my dominance on the table with a Baneblade. It's enough to make the orc players blush. Oh yeah, dude, I want a Baneblade too. Yep. The price scares me. The price scares me. I saw it go up. It used to be, I kid you not, it used to be like $90. about 2 years ago, and I haven't checked since until just like a month ago, and it's at 142. It went up a lot, and I'm just thinking, wow, like I was willing to buy it at the 90, but 142 plus tax and whatnot, I said, yeah, that can wait till the very end. That's the final boss. But then we have my friend Michael, and he said, why don't you just print it? Like, there's proxy dudes out there who do like proxy stuff. And he told me, he's like, well, and it kind of low-key looks just like it too. And I saw it, and it was pretty good. It was really good proxies. And he said, yeah, just get that 3D printed and you'll save yourself so much money. And I am definitely considering proxying a Baneblade. I think that is a very guard player wet dream. Make the orcs jealous with all the DACA. I know. And it's funny because like, it's at least the one friend Oscar who was here earlier. I'm not sure if he's still lurking in the background, but he was like, he's one of those crazy orc players where he definitely sees a challenge the bigger it is. It's so orc of him. He's like, oh, I can totally take that down, instead of, ooh, spooky scary gun looking at me. No, he's like, no, I'm gonna fight it. I want to headbutt that thing. I get to play him. I got to play him before he left. He clapped my sisters. Yeah, dude, he takes the game very seriously. It's fun to have someone who's so adamant about the game, and he's consistently playing the game. He definitely enjoys it for what it is, and that is amazing. Not many of us can say the same. And he plays the main 40k. He doesn't touch OPR. He tried it. It wasn't for him, he says. And that's okay. It's one of the reasons I'm like in between selling the other codex and keeping it for its value, because when he comes down, or if I go up there to play, he'd rather play 40k, and I don't want to take away from that experience. And I wouldn't mind, you know, playing 40k for that sake. And the question is, when's that going to happen? Because we have yet to get together since he's left, and I feel like the next edition's going to happen before that ever happens. So I'm thinking, should I sell it before it's too late and the edition ends, and then it essentially loses a lot of its value because it gets updated and they get a new one for the next edition? Or keep it also as a memorabilia collector's piece, but I don't have a lot of collecting space right now, so I have that to consider. Interesting. It was the opposite for me. I came from playing 40k and level PR way more. My buddy Tim still does 10th. When I visit him, we end up playing 10th. Right. So yeah, so that's why I'm also like, that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure you got the codex. I know you like collecting stuff, so I was positive that you were going to use it as a collecting piece, especially because it's Krieg edition. And that's another reason I kind of want to keep it, because I was like, oh, this is an awesome book. But also for the same reason, right? Like if I go up and play, I want to have the cards, I want to have the app, I want to have the codex. just in case for the stratagems, right? Like you want to be prepared. You want to have it all for easy to keep note and reference on the side. And if I sell it, I won't have it. But the times I will have use out of it, I know is going to be very small. I need to be able to play both and be proficient in both systems. Yeah. I think it's just a lot of people here locally agree that OPR is such a nice transition. And no one's going head over heel about playing 10th. A lot of us got burnt out with how complex it became. We traded for something quicker, which was OPR. And I feel it's still abstract enough when you play with the advanced rules. It feels amazing. But that's just me. I don't like yakking others yum. I also think 10th has a unique feel with all the abilities and stratagems that OPR does sorely miss. Because for the sake of ease, it does get rid of that identity. You collect more than you should. Oh, don't I know it, man. Don't I know it. Oh, yeah. I have way too much. Speaking of your friend, Tim, it was such a great sport, dude. Such a cool guy. I hope he comes down sometime again. Had a great time. 10th is insane how complex it is, and what did it for me was having to edit my army constantly, and rules would change. Yeah, the changes were actually much more frequent, which is funny because some people sit on both sides of the spectrum. Some are like, dang, dude, like one update a year sucks. Like I don't want to have to wait for my shitty rules to get updated in such a short time. So people were complaining that like that was the scenario, so they asked for more frequent rules. And then you have the opposite spectrum then come in and say, dang, dude, this is way too many changes in such a short time. Like I only have so little time to play, and I don't want to have to sit down every single time to memorize new rules, which is how I felt this edition. I rather have a system that is so well built, you only have to learn it the first time, and you're good. Because I don't want to have to sit on top of all the time I spend painting, then playing, because it takes time to play, and then be thrown in another loop of, okay, we changed 4 mechanics that should have existed from the beginning if you play tested your own game. Right? In the middle, like mid-flight, they're changing rules. And we have to learn it all over again. I'm gonna be real frank, like I have no idea how 10th edition right now is. Like I'm pretty sure there's a lot of changes since I last played about eight or so months ago. I would get in one game, then by the time I got to play again, there have been nerfs, rules are added, and point changes. From a competitive point of view, I understand, however, where I am is frustrating. Yeah, especially when you have kids. Again, like I think it really just depends on the kind of person. Because I know my friend Oscar, he's all about the changes and all that stuff, and it's cool, right? It feels nice when you're very retroactive about the game, and you're adamant about also following through with the changes. if you're good at it in that sense and you have the time, it's not a problem. I totally see that. But when you want to diversify your I'm not saying that there are no lives, but when you want to diversify your life in a lot of other aspects like painting, being casual about the game, you don't want to have to spend that much time to just play a game. It's already a long game as is. It's the nature of it. But when you're adding these changes, it adds to that timer. And like you, since you do have kids, it's even more so of a reason, right? Like, I would like to spend times with my kids too and still play what I like, right? Like, you can get a little bit of everything. But if the hobby takes all of your time and you don't have time for those changes, you're not such a happy camper because of it, right? And I don't have kids, but like I do have this hobby side of it. As a business I would like to make out of it. I like to go out and meet people. I can be a very social person. Meet people, you know. I'm still single, but so like I still want to socialize to make a life outside of this too, right? Have friends to go out with, play video games too, with my OGs. And I can't be bothered to learn the rules every month. Or who knows? Maybe I should just accept basement dweller life, even though I'm not in the basement. And join the super competitives. Who knows? Maybe I might find the exact same thing, right? In that sense. That's another great point. Because you socialize with people in tournaments, in leagues, you get to meet people, and it could come along the same way. That's the fun part of the hobby. And I want to experience that too, believe it or not. I want to be in those competitions and travel with a group of friends in the hobby. Socialize in the hobby. So forth and so forth. I would love to do tournaments eventually when I can take my kids with me. I had a friend who was super into playing the game. He was into him and I got into Age of Sigmar. He was my first buddy to jump into the hobby with me. Him and I did it together. He pulled the trigger first, and I followed suit because I was excited with how much he was getting. And he was getting his Lizardman and Skaven at the time, and I was just watching him do that, so I started doing Star Wars Legion first. That's really what I started collecting first. Star Wars Legion, and then eventually he's like, I can't do two armies at once, and he sold me his Skaven for painting up a really good force, which is on my Instagram. There's a picture with all the ogres in one picture. I did all that for about a $600 Skaven force, give or take. Yeah. In here. And I was always really concerned about being tournament capable, But then I also realized a lot of like local tournament scenes, even like big named ones like in LVO, if I'm correct, I think they do allow like conversions and stuff as long as it has like the same dimensions and it's just like added on visual like specs and stuff, like it's allowed, I think. But I know like local tournaments in San Diego, um they're like, yeah, like we're cool with all of it as long as it, again, it doesn't change too much of like the base size, or you know, the dude isn't much taller and hence can see more of the battlefield because of it, right? Stuff like that. And even that has drawbacks, like you don't want to be the tallest model and be shot by everything. Oh yeah, and what I was getting about, you had reminded me about the whole tournament thing and my friend, because he had a kid and that little critter was everywhere when he would play, and I could see he would get frustrated with how much she was like grabbing and yelling and stuff like that. He was super self-aware of it, and I felt bad. I felt bad for my friend. So he had to tone down how much of the hobby he was doing for his kid, and that's great. He gave her focus rather than what probably shouldn't in his situation. Family first. Oh man, I'm getting excited to go play today now. Seeing my friends. I think someone's bringing pizza. That's really cool of the dude. Hopefully get to play versus one of them as well. Make myself present when the group is there. I haven't been doing that as much. See how that goes. I hope my workload today is not as much, because it definitely does factor how tired I'm gonna be at the shop. I still have lots of models from a lot of my kill team stuff, and I'm not sure how kill team's gonna be going forward. I feel like GW got its grimy hands around how popular it got, and now they're adding quality of life stuff, like adding the cards, which is super nice to have. The cards in kill team are, if you ask me, a must, and they're definitely a great bonus. However, a lot of the guys here have seen it all, because we've had already multiple campaigns in kill team, and it's a game that we burnt out on because we played it very frequently. And then some of the ugliness would rear its face when it came to like certain factions and stuff and how they played. And you kind of expected, you know, certain things to happen in certain games. It doesn't leave much room for building a lot of unique strategies. It's one of its problems. You can definitely do bizarre things, but it doesn't like, you're not compelled to do so other than for doing it in terms of shits and giggles, I guess. Oh, what do you know? I'm gonna need a little more. I think one more drop should do it for the staff. The flood. Ah. I can hear leaves rustling outside. It's getting windy again, and that's usually a sign from up in San Diego, the coast area, that the cold is coming back. It got really warm here all of a sudden. I'm not sure if you were out and about. It got really warm, and a lot of people were like, dang it, like the cold didn't even last at all. And if you ask me, it's nice to have the cold for a little longer. Then the summer here is brutal. So yes, the wind is nice. The weather's been gross. Oh yeah, indeed. Right now, I'm not sure if it's cold windy because my window's closed, but I can hear it through the window. Summer's going to be brutal. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like summers here. I hear people all over the internet just like, oh, we love summer, summertime, free, like, you know, go out and about in your summer clothes. And I'm just like, not here. Not here. Not cold, but it's not hot. So it's nice in between. Oh man. Right, we're reaching the 3-hour mark, and I am getting hungry. Yeah, it's not awful. That's good. I think we got the worst of it, in all honesty. The rest is smooth sailing. And again, I've only been in and out because I'm getting laundry done. Ooh, nice. All right. So it is time for the gold. This will definitely make it pop. This is the part it sorely needs. It's poppin'. I suddenly had that old commercials for the pop cereals, just pops. And it was just something really cringe. Dang, dude, back in the day, freaking cereal commercials were weird. Weird enough that we had commercials about cereal. Oh, I forgot about those. Yeah, there's a lot of things in my in my upbringing that seem so cursed now to see on television. And I think television's already, I feel amongst young people, it's a medium that's not even seen anymore. Like, I do not watch any television at all. It's all YouTube. It's all YouTube for me. Future's now, old man. So I used to be really shy about telling people, like, oh yeah, I like to watch YouTube. I don't know. I felt like it was kind of cringe. I didn't want people to see me for the weird things I would look on the internet. Because I would look at like Lego videos when I was a kid. Honeycomb cereal commercials were extra cursed. Well, like, wrong platform. But now we're getting those commercials back with freaking, what's them called? With all the advertisements here on YouTube. That's wholesome. My YouTubes. I'm also like really like aware that like there's people out there who use YouTube for like teaching and stuff. It's really funny to me because I remember there was a professor at IVC in art. He looked up on Twitch, like he opened up Twitch, was already so surreal to me because I was like, ooh, that's already, wow, like I did not expect that from a teacher here. And he opened up Twitch and he looked up someone doing watercolor, and he found someone, and I was just like, little does this person know that that one viewer was 30 of us in a class looking at this online dude paint watercolor. It was so surreal. It was weird. And I'm just thinking, like, what if that's gonna be me sometime? They're gonna be like, oh look, here class, check this out, this is really cool, someone paints minis. And it's just like a college class of like 50 people staring at me paint this shitty little hobby that I do. Not that it's shitty, of course, I'm just, you know, poking fun at myself, but you know, it's so funny to think I'm here playing stupid shit and someone on the internet could be like, oh, this is my edumacation. And I'm reminded of it because, you know, Vincent teaches his kids, and like, I don't know, He could be doing the same. He's like, yo, check this out. And the kids are like, yeah, whatevs, teach. This shit's cringe. I thought you were an adult. Oh, I would be sad if kids told me that. Like, oh, okay, I see how it is. You guys had no childhood. It's a small world after all. Look at this dude. And I'm still perplexed by like Awito running into my stream, like from where he's from. It blows my mind. It's awesome what these platforms can do, what it allows to flourish. He's my biggest fan. Oh, most definitely. Without a doubt. It brings so much joy that he enjoys my stuff and my presence so much. It really does. Enough to make a grown man cry. A lot of coworkers come up to me and they see my stuff and they're like, "Oh, dude, I didn't know you did that stuff. It's really cool." And it's really nice when you get acknowledged and they do like the stuff I do. But just like a lot of people, they're not aware how deep this rabbit hole goes. And many times I say nothing because it goes pretty deep. And then they hear what I say about it, and then they're like, "That's expensive." It's usually the biggest like question. They're like, "Oh, I'm interested. That's cool." They look at it. The price is on Amazon, which is like the cheapest out there usually for the official kits, and they're like, nah, fam, I'm out." Oh yeah, it is expensive. There's no denying it. I mean, I think the count is for 36 models, the Krieg ones, the new ones I bought for 36 models, about $500 with the transfers, of course, the codecs and all that whatnot. Like, it's not just the models, of course, but like $500 is quite a lot of money, especially nowadays. So yeah, that's why I don't push people like buy. It's so expensive. I only do it because I like it. All right. These guys have much less gold to apply. I'll just enjoy from the sidelines, laugh out loud. Yeah, and that's awesome. That's what I'm saying. So like, that's what I tell a lot of the people, especially like when there's newbies. I'm just like, just ask some people, as long as you're obviously courteous, because we've already had some a few bad apples come in and demand everything be given to them. We've already unfortunately run into some of those locally. and we're just like, nah. But if you're nice, which is now how I'm correcting what I say, if you're nice to the people, you're respectful about their hard painted work and paid for work, you can sometimes even let you play with like their lists, which is something I'm willing to do. But yeah, getting into this hobby is real pricey. Alright. These guys are all about that silver. They're not crazy in the gold department. Good for me. You guys have always been welcoming to everyone that approaches you. Yeah, the only way you're gonna make good other hobby players, the only way you're gonna grow, being positive and helpful. But there's unfortunately those who even abuse that, and that's bad. They get to miss out. And the few games you had played, it was fun. Yeah. That is what it's all about. That reminded me of like my friend Oscar, who was here. He was at the store one of the times he was still down here. We had gone to San Diego, one of my favorite shops, and he was just picking up box sets and box sets left and right. I was just like, whoa, dude, like you're really getting all that? He's like, yeah, dude. And he bought like 4 kits, I think it was. And I'm just there sitting like, wow, that's awesome. But also, I totally would have done that if it was Krieg. No judgment. I know, he's balling. Let's see what else needs some gold. Thankfully, not an insane amount of gold. Usually, gold is a really great conductor. It of heat and lots of other things like electricity. It's not very effective with electricity. It can conduct it, but I like to think that that's why Psykers have some gold other than the drip. Not only for those things, but for like warp energy. Great conductors. Speaking of summer, it reminds me the heat kind of can bleed through the windows. The heat can bleed through the windows, and it gets hot in my room. And considering I'm talking out loud and I don't want the outside world to bleed into the microphone as well, because it's also part of the personal life I live. It gets really stuffy in my room. And if I turn on the fan to alleviate the discomfort, it dries up my paint on the palette very fast. Oh, it's such a terrible time. And one of the solutions to people who have that problem is, okay, like, then you just get a moisturizer, like one of those little vapor things. But I have a bunch of things around me, like my whole computer setup for this is sorely, electronic and metal, that I don't want that around it. I don't want to damage the stuff. Throwing water on it, rusting, and so forth, causing oxidization. I might be overthinking it. Maybe I might not do anything to it, but that's what goes through my head. I guess I could do that too, right? One of those air conditioning ones that suck in the air and pulls out. But those are really pricey. I mean, it's an investment, but definitely is a solution. Okay, so I'm realizing that this guy had the knee pieces, and I don't think I touched on the. Nope, I did not. Oh yeah, that gold pops out real good. It's that real good feeling you get once you realize it's all coming nicely. Being that good chemical in the brain. I don't think this guy is, but at least one of us is. Dopamine! Yay! Freaking the little kids from FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's, the little yay at the very end of the little timer of the shift. The end of the shift. Really what that is, right? Man, I feel old. If Raul is still here, he would say something, that's for sure, about that. It's like, because you are. He bullies me. I haven't seen any gameplay, to be honest. You know what it is, though? I'm probably gonna paint my Psyker. I have one of the Psykers in the same color scheme, just so that I could say it's from the same program that my friend here commissioned it is from. Just like, oh yeah, they recruited the same Psykers, you know, from the same program. Gonna creep, I'll get some work done. All right. Thankfully, these Psykers don't have too much going on with them. So they're a lot easier to finish. right. And just like that, we grow closer and closer for these Psykers to be battle ready. We did the gold, the metal, we shaded the metal silvers. We also touched up on the second layer for the gold. Just a really quick pass. And yeah, that took about 3 hours. Quite a bit detailing, but there we go. That's going to be it for today. I think next time it's going to be the belts. Touching up a few of the metallics on the detail just because I want it to pop. The hoses, so the belting, the hoses, and the miscellaneous stuff around. Then I'm gonna weather the capes at the very end just a bit, the bases, and can't forget the eyes. Let me get that out of the way too. But that's gonna be for another time. All right, bye-bye. Thanks everybody for coming to support, of course. We appreciate, helps out a lot. Hopefully it keeps on growing. All right, till next time. Peace.